Hey everybody, it's Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the one-hand mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we have here a Hustler RaptorX. This is a 54-inch cut, zero turn. It has a 21.5 horsepower Kawasaki engine on it, and it only has 55 hours. And the customer says the blades don't turn and they think they need a belt. So I looked into it, and believe it or not, it was, I showed up at the house, and this is what I found. Already at 55 hours, and you can tell where the spring broke. It's supposed to have a hook on one side and a hook on the other, and that is why the blade stopped turning. So today I want to show you, in my opinion, how to repair that. So the first thing I want to do is show you some tools. I looked up the part number I needed from the model number off the machine on the Hustler website, and I was able to find aftermarket set of two with two anchors that are identical to the ones that are on the machine, as you will see. I will put a link in the description below if you'd like to pick them up, and also the part number needed. I use a 1/4-inch electric ratchet on all my videos. It just makes it faster and easier for me. If you have a ratchet that you can put on a 7/16 socket, 10mm socket, or 3/8 I think it is, and I'm using a 3/4-inch wrench to help us get the belt back on again. This is not a easy process to get the belt on without pinching your fingers. So I figured out a way to make it a little bit easier, I think. And obviously a knee pad, I'll put one of them in the link in the description below if you guys want to pick yourself up a pad. The first thing we need to do is put the mower deck all the way down. You will now need to push the foot assisted deck height adjuster pedal to relieve tension on the knob to be able to remove it so we can lower the mower deck all the way down to its lowest position. We're going to need to take off this panel right here to get into the mower deck. You will need a 7/16 socket to remove this bolt. I don't like the way this is set up for a couple different reasons. One, it's supposed to be a hole you can put your finger in, and I have pretty small fingers, and I tell you what, it's really hard to get your finger in here and pick this up because it's actually pretty heavy. So be careful that you don't pinch yourself. Also, they put a washer under here to take up the gap, which you'll lose that in a heartbeat if you don't know about it. So you're gonna have to be careful, but pick this up, and then you have to pull this out a little bit because there's tangs right here and here, and you just have to bring them out, and don't bring it out too far because it'll drop down your mower deck. All right, and just get this out of the way. Now, like I said about this spacer, this is just hanging out. Everybody's gonna lose that, so don't lose your spacer. And as you can see, this is where the other part of that spring is right here. All right, and you're just gonna take it off here. This guy, I'm glad I found the other part because it would be in his yard somewhere if I didn't. And the belt just is flopping around, but the good news is you didn't ruin a $70 belt. Now these right here are what hold, this is what holds the spring. And I noticed that there's a pretty good gap right there, and I didn't want to take a chance and break, so I purchased a kit that comes with these, which is nice. Now these also go a certain way. Underneath here there's a hole here, and there's a hole on the other side inside here, okay, that hole there. And when you go ahead and put this down, you have to put the back end in the hole so it's actually sitting all the way down like that. We're going to go ahead and take the cover off this side and the cover off the other side. And as you can see, the belt jumped off and then it went underneath here. So I'm going to go ahead and on this side, I'm going to take the belt up and off so we can get in here and work on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and take cover off the other side. They also give you a nice sticker with the routing of the mower deck belt for you, just for your information, so you can get it back on. This is the other hook that the spring goes on, and it's not supposed to sit like that. All right, it's supposed to sit down. Now I can't physically get this thing to go down in the correct position, so this slides back and forth on this. I don't like this at all. That's just my opinion. You slide this all the way back towards the transmission, and it should come out. And it comes out just like this. And you see the holes in the back of that? That's where this has to go, like that. So when you put it back together, it has to be sitting like this. I'm not sure how it popped up like that. And I wonder if somebody had it running like this, because that would make sense why these things got so cut up. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to take this off. So I can't even take this off. Let's see if I can take the belt out. It doesn't allow me. It does not allow me to take this off without taking this off. This is ridiculous. This is a bad design. All right, so the good news is I can take the belt off of here, and we're gonna have to unbolt this, and I didn't put that in the tools that we needed. Let me just see if I can get this thing to come out. You see how it should, it's close, but it will not, it won't come out. All right, we're putting new ones on. If you're in a pinch, you don't have to take these out, but make sure that when you put this back in again, that they are in the holes right there and not sitting like this. You want this to sit down like that when you put the spring on it. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that now. The problem loosening this up is that we have to make sure that this goes back exactly the way it was, and it doesn't look like there is a spot to, it doesn't click in on an indent. So it does have a carriage bolt, which makes it easy enough to loosen, but I gotta get this pulley up just enough to get this out. I'm going to use a 3/4 socket with an electric ratchet. It does have a carriage bolt on the bottom, which means that it's going to hold the bolt stationary to a point. I'm just going to hold it down there because I have to keep pushing that carriage bolt up. You don't want it to round out the head down there if it gets pushed this way. And I'm just going to eyeball which position this was in. Didn't need to really take that off, but just need to get this up. Actually, you know what? It's not coming up. Okay. Why is that stuck? Okay, so I've never seen a pulley stuck. It must be just paint, I guess. Rubber mallet so I don't hurt it. Okay, it was just stuck to the metal. Haven't seen that one before. All right, so we can get this out. We have a kit. This kit I'll put in the link in the description below. Comes with 2 springs. Here's the old spring, and actually got a piece of wood stuck in there. So this guy might have been chopping up branches, who knows, but the spring is identical. The thickness, everything is identical. All right, so as far as quality goes, you know, this is not OEM, but even the hook is the same. They're the same size. Okay, so I'm stopping the video because after I did see, and you guys are going to tell me, oh, this is definitely, the old one's thicker than the new style. Well, I just want to show you guys that when you use the standard inches, I'm going to zero this out. The old thickness of the steel is 0.136. The new one is 0.137. Okay, so that's telling me that here's the old thickness of the steel was actually a little bit thinner than this steel. The reason why it looks bigger is how they're made. There's just a little difference in how they're actually wound, but the thickness of the aftermarket spring that I'm using is actually thicker than the old spring. So this should actually hold up even better. Hook here, as you can see, it has a pretty good indent in it. And it comes with hooks. I wish it came with 4 because I think we're going to have to start replacing these every time with new hooks. And again, these are identically made. So we're going to go ahead and put this in the bracket there. Carriage bolt, washer, like that. Pretty sure it was right about there. Okay, all back together again with the new hook on there. I'm gonna go ahead and You got to go back pretty far, and you got to get it right in the slots. And slide it up. Oh. Make sure your hook doesn't hinder you right there. The hook, rub it on the deck. All right, so that worked. All right. And that belt just went like that. Now, this right here is so this will not go any further. It cannot fall out that way. And I want it all the way up there as far as I can. We're gonna go ahead and take this one out, which is the old one that's got wear marks on it. I'm gonna put the new one in, and it should slide up into those holes. It's not gonna be that easy for me. It's not gonna stay there, but all right, we'll figure that out when we get there. Okay, so at this point, I wanna go ahead and put the spring on. This is always forward, and you don't have to worry about where the belt is positioned right now. I need to hold this hook in a down position like that, and then I'm actually going to go, I don't think there's a wrong way and a right way of doing that. I'm going to put the hook facing down on this side and the hook facing up on this side, because it's easier for me to put this down in here. Now it's really close. All right, it's about 3/4 of an inch. I have to pull this. I should be able to do this by hand. It's not so bad. So once you have that set up, these are down in the down position as far as they can go. Now we have to go underneath the machine and go around to the engine pulley back there. And you can see that the belt has fallen down on it. I'm gonna go ahead and, I think we can see this on video. You need to put the belt back up around the engine pulley and just let it sit on there. Then we can come over here, hold the belt, make sure everybody's on the pulleys the way they're supposed to be, and pull this snug and get it to sit on the bolt that's coming out of your top pulley right here, like so. I have found a trick with a 3/4 inch wrench that you can use. I would prefer a shorter wrench to not hit this right here. Put the wrench over the belt, like right here, and then you're gonna find the bolt here, and then you're just gonna pull it, guide the belt around the pulley, nice and easy. And this is a lot of tension, so be careful. And boom, you're on. That is a lot of tension. Look at that spring. That's the way it's supposed to be. And yeah, but that's down. And I was kind of wondering if maybe this was in a straight up position. I don't know. But the other thing I found is that the engine vibrates, and I looked at the pulleys and everything. It only has 55 hours, so I don't think there's anything wrong. But if you run it at 3/4 throttle, this vibrates a lot. And I did notice, I checked the belt, if you throttle up to full throttle, there's no vibration. And maybe something got caught in here that actually made it break, I don't know. But it's weird. This is the second one I've come across in about 2 years. The first one had 200 hours on it, so it may not happen as much as I think. But I have to say though, if you're just replacing this spring, it's a lot cheaper than replacing the belt. So if this breaks, I would just make sure if you get a new spring, you may want to purchase new hooks. And like I said, I'll put the part numbers in the link in the description below, and I'll put the kit in the link in the description below too. That gives you 2 springs and it gives you 2 of these. And hopefully you'll get a long time out of it. I'm not sure what happened here, other than we'll just have to see how it works. Nothing's bent. Just make sure if you have a bad vibration to check the normal stuff, bent blades, shafts that your blades bolt to, all your pulleys, make sure nothing's bent. Remember to check your engine pulley also to make sure, I don't know if you caught that on the video, but right there is your engine pulley. Make sure that that belt is around it before you turn this mower deck back on again. We're gonna go ahead and put the plate on. So when you put the plate back in, you have the 2 tabs, and you can just slide them down in, and then they'll slide under. This has to slide under as far as you can get it to slide under, or it will not line up with your spacer. Don't forget your spacer. And it lines up just perfectly. Put your bolt in there and tighten it up. 7/16. Okay, at this point, I would definitely go out and run it. And I don't want you running without this on there. It's not safe. It's up to you guys what you want to do. I want to look underneath to look at this, see if the spring looks fine. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the covers on. When you tighten these down, do not over tighten them. You can crack the plastic. Go to the other side. Okay, so don't forget to put your adjuster in, raise your deck height to where you want it before you run the mower deck out there. That pretty much sums it up for how to install a blade tension belt spring for the mower deck on a Raptor X 54-inch Hustler. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.